Whoa! Day 70. That came up on us quick. Arm day. Good old fashioned arm day. I've never really been a fan of doing like a push day, like chest and shoulders, and then triceps at the end of it, and then back, and then you do biceps at the end of that. It's like, for one thing, I never get a good pump because my triceps or the biceps have already been fatigued, and then like it's just not, just not in it. Plus, who doesn't want a fucking arm pump? You know? So, again, my time management skills are off the charts. Not because they're so good. It is, it's an ungodly hour. So, gym should be close to empty. So, let's just fucking get this pre going and hopefully blow my sleeves off by the time I'm fully pumped. Whew. Arm day complete. Solid pump. Honestly, biceps didn't feel like perfect. Tries were crazy. Like, I don't know if I could even say what would dictate what exactly affects how good a pump feels. Because I know it wasn't the workout, because I've done that same sort of lift before. Like pretty much basically the same exercises and whatnot. I don't know, some muscles you're just gonna feel a little bit off the next day. Either way, ton of blood flow, certainly stimulated growth. So let's just slam this post-workout protein dextrose blend, 50 grams each. Watch another car talk for the explanation. Oh, gross. What was I just thinking about? Ah, man, I was just thinking about something. Fuck. Well, whatever. Got a glimpse of the morning crew. That's how fucking late I was in there. That's fucked up. That's no good. So, again, this bulk is not stopping. I'm just gonna keep going until I say so. At least 2 months. I gotta hit 260, man. That's the goal. That's the number. I mean, the goal is obviously just get as heavy as possible, every bulk. But, using my, what's the term? My ability to extrapolate data, looks like 260 would be pretty much up there. And then, I mean, it's starting to look like I'm getting kind of big, so maybe instead of just a dieting series next, it'll actually be like a show prep. Whoa, wouldn't that be gnarly? Well, we'll have to see. My mentality with that is, since right now, in terms of bodybuilding, I'm a novice, right? Have yet to compete. So the goal would be to do the same shit that James English did, right? You want to do your little you want to win your national qualifier, and then you want to get a little pro card, and then it's just a whole new realm of growth after that. But I don't necessarily think about the getting on stage aspect of it. That's something that a lot of people like. If you're a legit like bodybuilder, a lot of dudes, they'll get decently big, whatever, and then they just compete every year. uh, just as like amateurs, and they go in, they do their show, they place wherever, and then they do it again the next year, and that's it. You know, even though they're a higher level than the amateur lifter, they're still plateaued. That's the one thing that you want to avoid, right? You're not going to want to reach a legitimate plateau. And by that, I don't mean like you're gaining weight or you're gaining strength and then it starts to slow down for a few months. I'm talking about looking the same year after year. Even though you're still putting work in the gym, maybe you're focusing on your diet a little, but if you can just put a little bit extra thought into it, right? You got to think, if you stay the same, if you look the exact same every year or for a long period of time, then all it takes is a little extra effort, just a little. That's going to push you over the edge and make you start progressing, right? But being in equilibrium, that just sucks, you know. I'd say in all aspects of endeavors, probably the most important thing that's going to result in you, you know, progressing over time is the ability to make changes, right? To sort of look at yourself in a calm and collected manner and think, I've been doing arms every day, and my arms aren't that big. Maybe this isn't the best way to go about it. You know what? Man, I do always feel like shit every weekend after I go out. Maybe that's not ideal. Or whatever, you know. You get what I'm saying? So, a lot of people can get sort of defensive about weightlifting or like bodybuilding, lifting in general. You know, like if somebody goes up to them and is like, "Hey, are you counting your calories?" Or some shit like, "Dude, you are not doing that exercise right. What are you doing?" That's not. It'll come off as a lot of the times when people come at you with suggestions like that, it's going to come off as sort of an attack on you, right? It's like, why are you doing that? It's so stupid. But as I've been saying, the enlightened lifter isn't going to take that as an insult, right? He'll at least, you know, take a few seconds and be like, is this guy right? Is this guy actually telling me something that's based in fact? Now, you know, maybe he's telling you something stupid and you can just brush it off. But, you know, anytime that you can sort of assimilate new information, right? Or maybe you see somebody doing some sort of weird lift that you haven't tried before, or they're doing some sort of weird variation or drop set, you know, maybe go up, ask them what's going on, what's the logic. Worst thing that's going to happen is maybe you'll have an awkward moment and they're like, I don't want to talk to you. And best case, you know, some guy teaches you some brand new way to do push downs or something random, I don't know. It's never going to hurt to know more and to have more experience. So, I got 3 more steps for tonight. Vitamins, meal. Okay, 4. Vitamins, meal, shower, bed. And legs tomorrow should be frightening. Should be a frightening pump. So, I will see you next time. Okay. 65. Day 65. We're headed to Metro Fitness in Worthington. It's kind of a badass old school style gym. Hardcore. And arms are going to be eviscerated. Eviscerated. That seems like the proper term. Standard procedure. Triceps first, then bis. A lot of push downs, a lot of curls. That's all you need. There's no point doing any kind of weirdness, anything funky, you know, because I mean, you think about it, what's your bicep doing? It's taking your arm from here to here And then the tricep is doing the same thing in reverse. So, as far as I can tell, bicep curls are going to be ideal, just like standard dumbbell, barbell, perhaps cable. And then triceps, hard to beat, just a push down of any variety. You can do close grip bench. I've never been a huge fan. I always just end up working my chest. It's not like an awesome squeeze. And if I do go light enough to where I can only feel it on my triceps, then it's just so light, I mean, I'm not even getting much out of it. So, close grip bench, honestly, never do it. I'm saying I never do it. Skull crushers, throw it in a little. Could be a little hard on the elbows, but whatever. So I do think it's pretty damn important to have a dedicated arm day, right? In my mind, well, I just feel like when people do chest and tries, right, or back and buys, they, obviously the triceps getting worked because pretty much usually people are going to do chest first and then finish with triceps. Same with back, they'll finish with biceps. But I don't know, it just doesn't seem ideal to me, because every time I've done back and buys, especially, by the time I start doing the curls, they're already fatigued. Like, they've taken a little bit of damage from the back workout itself, but it's not like that fatigue in my mind isn't necessarily exactly what you want to do to stimulate growth. I would rather work my biceps directly and just start off with heavy curls. I'll finish the bicep workout once I've got a gnarly pump, rather than have to just work with the scraps that have been left from the back day. Plus, who the hell doesn't want an arm pump? Are you crazy? It's fucking sick having an arm pump. So, whatever. I drink this pre, get in there. It's actually not 3 a.m. Can you believe it? Can you believe I'm actually lifting at a reasonable hour? I know, me neither. So, fuck, let's go get started. All right. So, as expected, a frightening pump. I was even starting to get a little freaked out by it. But fucking hell, man, that's the point. We're trying to bulk up, goddammit. So let's get home, eat some food, and get some rest. Tomorrow is leg day. I'm already getting nervous. So in terms of training intensity, I am often underwhelmed in the gym by a lot of people's sets. Like, again, this kind of loops back to having, a written out workout plan, because, let's say you got your workout plan, you wrote it all up, or somebody wrote it up for you, whatever. And it's, the premise is going to be, let's just say biceps. Let's just break down a hypothetical bicep workout, right? 3 sets of barbell curls at so-and-so weight for so-and-so amount of reps. Then move on to 3 sets of yada, 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 whatever. I think people, or a lot of the times, I'll just see someone do a set, and there's just no intensity. They're not even pushing themselves. They're just doing the lift. Like, I just saw some dudes, or I've seen dudes where, like, they're doing arms or whatever, or bench, and all they're doing is just a set, then they re-rack it and whatever. Like, they must just reach the mildest level of discomfort and think to themselves, yep, that's enough. Yeah, that's enough. I'm starting to feel a little tired in the chest. Yeah, that's enough. It's guaranteed not enough, right? I'm not telling you that you got to be in the gym screaming every set, but it's not going to hurt your growth, right? The harder that you can push each set, each lift, the better your results are going to be. That's one thing I like about just lifting in general, is it's a direct, well, as long as you have a good training philosophy and diet, rest, whatever, recovery, as long as you have a basic setup that's, conducive to results, the only limiting factor is your the amount of effort that you put into your workouts, right? It's like you want to get bigger. Okay, all right, I think we can all get behind that. You want to get stronger, all right? Yeah, I think we can all get behind that. Well, guess what? You're going to have to fucking push yourself. You can't just go in the gym and do a fluff workout and expect to be bigger than the next guy around you. It's just not how it works. So, I'm not saying that everybody is doing nothing, but one thing that I see a lot is it's too many warm-up sets. Right, I would sort of describe them as like fluff sets. So, let's say I'm getting ready to do quads, so I do my set of squats. Actually, maybe that's a bad example. Let's bring up chest. Right, it's my first set of chest. I'm about to get into barbell bench. I think a lot of you guys would be under the impression that you should do, a set of maybe 20 reps with one plate. And then do a set of, I don't know, maybe 15 reps with 2 plates. And maybe 10 sets of 3 plates. Yada, 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 whatever. Insert the amount of weight that you would be using. But, like, counting the sets that you're using to go up in weight as actual sets, no, wrong. Like, before I start my chest day, like, I'll spend maybe 15, 20 minutes, first just warming up on the cables. And then I'll do like 3 or 4 reps of a plate, 2 to 3 of 2, 2 to 3 of 3. Because, your first set is where you're going to be the strongest. You'll be able to move the most amount of weight for the most amount of reps. So, by that logic, you're going to want to push yourself to the limit and do so. If you're going to be capable of moving the most amount of weight for the most amount of reps in the beginning, then that's what you should do. So the goal of warming up to your, let's say, your top set shouldn't be, just to wear yourself out. You're going to want to get as warm as possible, as quickly as possible, right? So rather than doing, a set of A weight, and then set number 2 of a little bit heavier, and set number 3 of a little bit heavier. In my mind, I would rather get warm such that the first set is the absolute heaviest. And then the second set, maybe I'll do the same weight for less reps. Third set, may have to go lighter to get the same amount of reps. And then continue that throughout the lift. Because there's a few pretty much proven methods to grow muscle, right? So a few of those are going to be progressive overload. You're going to want to build strength over time, but you're not going to build any strength if you don't push yourself with heavy sets. And then each lift, you've got to do enough damage and get enough contractions and reps such that you get a crazy pump. Now, the sets that are probably going to get you the most pumped are the ones that are a little bit lighter, where you're doing more, higher numbers of reps and really squeezing, rather than just moving a lot of weight around. So, the more fluff sets that you do, like let's say you do your workout by exercises, right? You got triceps, you're about to jump on the tricep push down. Don't do a set of A weight, and then the next set go heavier, and the next set go heavier. Get yourself warmed up first, and then start with your heaviest set. And then progress downward and actually push yourself on the remaining sets. So, basic idea I'm trying to get at here: lift as heavy as you can for a lot of reps. At least eight or 10 or so in the beginning, and towards the end of the workout, go a little bit lighter. Focus more on squeezing and getting a crazy pump. Doesn't seem too complicated to me. Now, whatever exercises you want to do, fitting those criteria, whatever, do whatever you want. It could help you as a beginner to try to copy, bigger guys' workouts that you see online or whatever. Just ask somebody at your gym for a little bit of advice. If you're not too shy, to go up to somebody at your gym and talk to them. But I mean, that's all it is, man. Just fucking go hard. Fuck. Now I'm just rambling. I gotta go home and sleep. I'm tired. I'll see you fucking next time. Yeah, damn it. Okay. Day 60. Whatever. Leg day. And again, we're back to our schedule. We're back to our regularly scheduled and located content back at the college gym. So, legs, same as usual. Blow up hamstrings first, then move on to quads. So, in terms of squats, I think a lot of, maybe not controversy, but a lot of questions about the heel elevated squats. So let's put myself in your shoes. You're a lifter. You squat, or at least you have squatted. And oh man, I always feel it in my lower back. Oof. It always just works my glutes. Like I don't feel my quads at all. Oh, I don't want to squat. Move on to a leg press or something stupid like that. Telling you, a lot of those issues could be fixed by elevating your heels on a plate, right? Because what's going to happen is it's going to let you put your knees further forward above your toes, and that action of being able to move your knees further forward is going to mean that you're not going to have to bend over so much. Forward, I mean. Because like when you see a power lifter squatting, or at least some of them, they often bend over a ton at the waist. So they're pretty much using just a ton of glutes and lower back. Now, if you want to move a bunch of weight, it's probably not going to hurt you. But if you want to build big legs, then you're going to want to squat as upright as possible, or upright as feasible, with a heavy ass amount of weight. So it's fucking 1 a.m. The gym should be dead. Perfect setup to get hype. So let's fucking get in there. I'll be real with you, man. That pump kind of sucked. Not for lack of trying either. My diet has been off. I have been off point. Been fucking not eating enough. Probably about a week. I've been doing like 4,000 a day. Not ideal, considering I was doing 6 before. Gotta get back on it. So I dropped down like fucking 4 pounds. I'm back in the 240s. What the fuck? It's all every time mid bulk. Like I hit one plateau, and then or not like a plateau, but like it just gets hard to eat. And then that just happens to be coupled with like me being busy with something else. And it's like a downward spiral. I gotta get back on the 6K a day. So in terms of eating a lot of food, probably my best tip and like method to actually getting it all in, it's just eating a lot as early in the day as possible. Like if you can just get up and eat a big ass breakfast, like 1,500 calories right then, that's gonna set you ahead of the game. And then lunch, 1,000 or whatever, like however you gotta spread it out throughout the day. But the more you can eat in the morning, the better. So I gotta get back on this 6K a day. Let's see, ideally if I can actually do it, then in about a week I'll be back up to the 250s again. Because when you're bulking up, and same thing when you're dieting down, your weight can fluctuate pretty drastically, just based on like the amount of carbs and water in your system. Now, I'm not saying like you get watery, or I'm not saying that like I get watery when I'm like full, but when you eat in like a really big surplus for, you know, a continued amount of time, all your muscle bellies are going to be as full as possible, because all your muscle cells have this little like they've got a little container of glycogen, that's like sugar, right, and water. So obviously the more food you're going to eat, all those little bits are going to be totally full. And you know, that's where that term comes from, like being full or being flat. Like if somebody says they look flat, it's because they haven't eaten enough carbs, they're depleted, so their muscles lose a little bit of size just from not being full of carbs. So let's say if somebody's about to do a bodybuilding show, right, to lose fat, they got to go to calorie deficit until they get lean as fuck. And then the day before the show or the day of, I've never competed, so I don't know like the exact protocol, but they eat a fuck ton of carbs, and then what that does is it fills up all their muscles, so they get that extra big look. But whatever. So I gotta get back on the fucking food. Awful. But training's still good. It's not like you need a day by day change in your weight. Like, it's gonna bounce around, but it's all about the average over the long term. Like, if you fuck up a day or like even a couple days like me, don't just fucking give up. Don't just be like, I can't do it or whatever. That's not gonna let you grow over time. You gotta just get back on it and then look back at your long-term average and it'll still be good. You know, a little bit of fuck ups here and then, it's not gonna hurt you. But once you start making something a habit, like, you know, taking extra days off or skipping your cardio, lazy fucking asshole. I'm telling you, 30 minutes, not even hard. Like, you do something. You either walk on the treadmill. I love the seated bike because all you do is you sit down, you pedal, and you get to play on your phone for 30 minutes. It's like by the time I like all I do is sit there, scroll TikTok, whatever, like just consume bullshit, and then I look up, oh, it's been 30 minutes, boom. Not hard. But like I was saying, it's not so important to have a perfect day every single day. The closer you can get to that, the better, obviously. But it's all about your long-term average. So as long as you're trying to, you know, approximate yourself to there, right? Like, let's say if you're bulking up, and you have a day where you miss a bunch of meals, just get back on it the next day. Or if you're trying to diet down and you do a big ass cheat day, like you just eat everything in sight, you've had enough of the diet. You're not totally boned, right? But you gotta chill out, right? You can't just keep doing that, or else you're not gonna make results. In the long term of any training block, bodybuilding being either bulking up or dieting down, it's just all about the average over that whole time period. So try not to forget your overarching goal when you open up the refrigerator, or no, when you open up the freezer and you tell yourself you're just going to have one scoop of ice cream. I'm just going to have one spoonful. Are you serious? You're going to have one? Nobody does one. If you've ever tried dieting, you know what I'm talking about. So, if you know how to implement a cheat day effectively, maybe you got to throw it in. But I'll get into more of the dieting when I'm actually dieting, you know, because I swear I've got a lot of little tips and tricks, especially for low calorie foods, like low calorie density stuff. Because I see a lot of people where their first instinct when they're trying to lose weight is to eat stereotypically healthy foods and to just like starve themselves, right? Like if you ever hear somebody go on a diet and they're not like educated on the topic, what are you going to see them do? They're going to eat a bunch of salads. Uh, Maybe they'll get like, man, I don't even know what the fuck they do. Eat a bunch of salad, maybe eat some grilled chicken, uh, go to bed hungry, and then after like 3 days they just give up. You got to be able to find foods that are going to keep you full, right? That have a lot of volume, but not a lot of calories. So I've got no problem with like zero sugar, like diet sodas. Kind of a controversial subject to a lot of health nuts. I'm drinking liters of diet soda in like a day, and I'm still kicking. Haven't noticed any adverse effects. So, look for super lean beef, sugar-free barbecue sauce, fat-free shredded cheese. That is a crazy hack. You put that on anything, awesome. You gotta look up keto bread, keto tortillas, made of all sorts of like insoluble fiber. Because you can have a whole ass like a standard hamburger bun, and instead of 40 grams of carbs, it's like 5, and the rest is just insoluble fiber, which does not count as carbs. I've heard a lot of people, like when I talk to them about this kind of stuff, they'll tell me, "Oh, like, yeah, keto bread's bullshit. Whatever." Like, do you know what an insoluble fiber is? Do you know what that is? When you look on the little nutrition facts box and it says total carbs, let's say it says 30, and then you look at the little subtext and it says insoluble fiber, 25 grams. That means that 25 grams of those like quote unquote carbs are not going to be digested. So you're just taking it in and it's just going to pass right through you, not giving you any extra energy. Whatever. It'll be easier for you to get when I'm actually like showing you this kind of shit. So, until then, I can keep an eye out for the next few videos when I tell you I'm back over 250. 260 is still the goal. This bulk, ideally, is not going to end until I step on the scale in the morning after, doing my business and weighing 260. So, not going to let anything stop me. So I'm going to go to bed. Well, I'm going to get my vitamins going, eat a little bit more food, hit my goddamn 6K cals, and take my vitamins. Did I already say that? And then cardio in the morning. So, good fucking night. God damn it. I'll see you for the lift tomorrow. All right, day 68. It's supposed to be chest and shoulders, but I tweaked the right chest a little bit on the last chest day. So, not bad. Like not serious, but definitely feel it. So, I don't want to, if you pulled something, depending on the severity of it, right, that should dictate whether or not you just totally back the fuck off, or, if you just start doing some lighter stuff, right? So for me, it's not as though every pec movement is going to bother it. It's only like more so like heavy pressing. So even though it's not in a ideal condition, I still want to work it as much as I can without, re-injuring it. So for chest, I'll probably just do a variety of flies. Honestly, yeah, probably just a variety of flies. Maybe a little bit of pressing if it doesn't hurt. But Worst thing you can do is hurt yourself more. That's completely counterintuitive. So, I'll just get some chest activation. It won't be like a crazy stimulating lift, but better than nothing. I'd rather do, as much as I can rather than just totally nothing, right? And then for shoulders, same thing that I always do, just a ton of face pulls and or like bent over rear delt flies. And then for side delts, it's going to be just like 11 sets of lateral raises. Maybe I'll throw in a few varieties. Like, I love the dumbbells the most, just standing dumbbell lateral raises. Cables, like cable one arm is fine. The machine lateral raise, that's fine. So, it's whatever. You can't really, even though you can change up the movements, it's all going to be the same feeling for side delts. You're just going from here to here. So, whatever way you like to do the most, just get a good burn. So I'm going to finish drinking this pre, and then we can get in there. So, not necessarily my most intense workout, considering, for me, shoulders is more so just about, getting a burning feeling. I'm never exhausted, out of breath after a set of lateral raises or face pulls or the reverse pec deck. That's more so just really trying to squeeze, feel like a really good burn. And usually I'd go hard as fuck on chest, right? Load up a lot of weight, throw it around, but a little bit tweaked. So went light, still got a fucking sweet pump, blood flowing. That's gonna be good for fucking recovering too. Just being sedentary. Let's say you have some sort of muscular damage. Let's say you pulled your hamstring, I've referenced this before. Pretty much right around Christmas, I was doing laying hamstring curls, full stack. I may not have warmed up all the way. That may have been the culprit. It was the first time I'd used this particular hamstring curl, so maybe it just hit me at a different angle. But whatever. Doing the set, 5 reps go by good, 10 reps go by. The 15th rep, right kind of in the lower portion outside. I'm not an anatomy major, but big ass pull. I was limping. Hamstrings that day was done. There was no more hamstrings to be hit on that leg day. I was limping out. And, even though my hamstring was fucked up, of course I still did my, my seated bike cardio, because that's not going to activate the hamstring, but it's still moving it around and gets some blood flowing. And then once it was strong enough to move a little bit of weight, I was doing a few, probably 2 weeks of just light hamstring workouts. So literally only maybe a few pins on the stack for single leg stuff. And I swear that's going to improve your recovery. Now, if you rip a tendon off or something, you got to get a surgery. But if it's just a minor thing, let it rest. But once it reaches a level where you can move it around and add a little bit of load, I would definitely recommend trying to be as active as possible. I was saying the same shit earlier, especially when you're injured too. Don't just sit back and rest. Try your best to work around it without re-injuring yourself. So I ran out of dextrose. That's why I didn't have the shake last night. But back again, 50 grams dextrose, 50 grams protein, post-workout. I'll explain after I finish it. Oh, yeah. It is unsettlingly sweet. It's my go-to phrase to describe that. Oh, God. So, in terms of your supplementation, call it creatine, vitamins, your diet, your sleep regimen, one sort of slept-on factor is taking dextrose post-workout, right? I'm sure everyone's heard of like power lifters eating candy while they're working out, or something along those lines, right? For energy, whatever, uh, whatever. But in terms of improving your muscular recovery post workout, obviously you're going to want to eat something. You're going to want to eat some sort of carb and some protein that is just going to, be fast digesting, and start the recovery process on your muscles, which you just, like ripped down to shit and inflamed and pumped up. So if you want the simplest carb possible, right, you're not going to fucking get a whole wheat sub from Subway. You're going to want some sort of sugar, right? Now, you can't just drink like a juice or just eat a bunch of candy. Well, you can, but it won't be ideal because that's not the simplest form of sugar, right? That's going to be, typically like a fructose or a sucrose, and those are like multiple carb molecules combined. You're going to have to break them down in a few extra steps before, you can actually spike your blood sugar. Now, the simplest carb that you can get your hands on is going to be dextrose. Dextrose is just one carbohydrate molecule. I think somebody called it a monosaccharide, if you want to sound all professional and scientific. But what that's going to do is as soon as you take down 50 grams of that stuff, it's instantly going to spike your blood sugar, which is going to spike your insulin, which is going to trigger an insulin spike, which is going to tell all your muscles to just start absorbing these carbs, right? And the more glucose that you got floating around your muscles, the more energy they're going to have, and then guess what? The more energy you've got floating around, the more you'll be able to spend on recovering. So, basic gist, 50 grams of dextrose, maybe 25 to 50, depending on if you're dieting, post-workout will improve your results over the long term. Now, is it going to be insanely drastic? Who's to say? But it definitely will be better than any other post-workout meal scenario. So, I hinted at this before. What's in the jug? You guys love asking about what's in the jug, even though it's the same shit every video. It's Tang. It may as well just be like orange Kool-Aid, right? It's just an orange sugary drink, powder. Why do I drink it? Does it have special properties? No. I just like it. For whatever reason, I just enjoy it. I think I had it as a kid, so it kind of has some nostalgia factor for me. But I haven't got tired of it yet, so I'm gonna keep on drinking it. There's no BCAAs in the intra-workout drink either. I think that's a sham. You're not gonna get any bigger if you got BCAAs floating around, right? There may be some argument to be had about EAAs. That'd be essential amino acids, right? So the difference between the two is like the branched chain amino acids is I don't even remember, leucine, tyrosine. I don't know. There's a fucking bunch of different amino acids which make up protein, and EAAs, if you ever look up that supplement, that's a complete protein, right? If you were to take in 5 grams of that, you're going to break down all 5 grams and utilize it properly. Now, the BCAAs, it's not a complete protein. It's just like a few different specific amino acids. And as long as you had a protein shake, or you ate some sort of meat pre-workout, you're going to have enough amino acids floating around anyway. So I think that the BCAAs are something to be left off of your supplement shopping list, right? Just get your creatine, your pre-workout, which consists of some sort of, or not some sort of, it should definitely have at least a few grams of citrulline, maybe citrulline malate, same kind of thing, L-arginine, and caffeine. As far as I can tell, all the other ingredients are just for show. It's like, whatever. So your pre-workout, your creatine, take your multivitamin, one a day. It's going to be good for you. Make sure you've got all your deficiencies handled. And, try to sleep good. And you should be alright. Whoa. So let's see, what else is going on? Yeah, shit, not much. I mean, back in the normal gym. I got back tomorrow. That should be a pretty damn good lift. Got cardio first in the morning. 30 minutes, man. All I do is sit on my phone and play Clash Royale. I have a fucking blast. It's not that hard. I will admit I can see why it may be a little bit daunting. Just because it does kind of become a time commitment, right? If you drive however long to the gym in the morning. So I can understand why you wouldn't want to do it. But I'm telling you, it's going to improve your results. If you're dieting, obviously it's going to let you burn more calories throughout the day, so it'll be easier to lose fat. And then if you're bulking, you're going to burn more calories, so you're going to have a better metabolism, better digestion, and you're not going to get so fat when you're eating in a surplus. So cardio year-round. Ideally, non-negotiable. So I'm going to go home, eat my fucking... Actually, I might get some kind of takeout food. I don't know. It's not that late. Whatever. I got like 2,000 calories left to eat. And then I'm going to bed. So, I'll see you next time. Alright. Oh my goodness. Oh, day 69. Holy crap. Back day. Relatively quick lift, just because, I mean, this is the only day where I'm only doing one dedicated muscle group, right? Arm day is tris and bis, legs is hamstrings and quads, chest and shoulders, obviously chest and shoulders. And then, like in this split, back is just back. Obviously calves every day. But, makes it easy to go hard. And back's a pretty big muscle. So, full-on back workout should be pretty fatiguing. Oh man, I was just thinking something. Shit. Whatever. So, fuck. What was I thinking? Oh yeah. So, in terms of the length of this bulk, it ain't stopping. It is not stopping for the foreseeable future. All right, we got a few more months of this to go. So, again, nothing to change. Just going to keep the food up. Get ready for the, rebound back up to 250, which probably shouldn't take more than 2 days. Because I've said this before, if you're bulking up and you miss your meals, and you eat a little bit less one day than you should have, like you're 1,000 or 2,000 calories low, you're going to drop like 2 pounds. Because, you want your body to be just overfed constantly. So as soon as you give it a little bit of slack, it's going to try and clear itself out with all that extra, whatever floating around. But let's just finish this pre and then fucking get in there. It is late, so it should be nice and empty. I'll be unencumbered for a indisputably thick and wide back pump. Oh, okay, back just got thrashed. Very happy about that. So, got the post-workout shake. Let's just slam it before we get out of here. Oh. 50 grams dextrose, 50 grams of protein. Most rapidly digesting carb post-workout. It's just going to jumpstart your recovery, keep you nice and strong, and in a dieting context, help maintain muscle. In a bulking context, help put it on. So, I think about this a lot. There's a variety of mental states, right, of lifters in the gym, and I sort of put them on like not necessarily a single criteria rating scale, but I do think a little bit more highly of some and a little bit more negatively of others. So probably one of the worst ones is lifting for somebody else, lifting to get someone else's approval. It's just not. Ugh. What the hell are you doing? You letting them control your life? It doesn't make any sense. You broke up with your girlfriend, whatever. Then you're thinking, man, I gotta fucking. You know what? I'll show her. I'm gonna fucking show her. Here we go. You start lifting. What's gonna happen once you get reasonably impressive looking? Like you're just gonna be done, and then you'll probably just end up like a standard lifter, making zero progress after you hit like a certain size. Just like the general lifter. Another one is when you're just dying to look a certain way, right? You are just itching for a look. You're scrolling Instagram, you're like, holy crap, look at that guy's fucking huge. Oh, that guy's so lean. The leanness gets me. Here, I'll get to that in a second. But again, with that sort of mentality, right, you're lifting to reach a certain goal, or at least, look a certain way, and subconsciously you're going to be attributing your self-value to that specific state, right? So sure, let's say your goal was 180 with abs, maybe even some arm veins thrown around. Let's say you get there, you're finally starting to think to yourself, man, this is good, I like this. 2 months later, you fucking what would happen to you? Let's say you get some kind of badass sickness. You are sick. Weeks. Some kind of whatever. You lose a ton of muscle. You drop down like 30 pounds. You can't go to the gym. You can't eat. Then you're going to be thinking to yourself, oh my God, fuck, look how I look now. Oh, this sucks. Oh, it's just not ideal either, right? And there's a variety of other reasons, if somebody's just in the gym super pissed off every lift all the time, using it as like a coping mechanism. I mean, those kind of posts really annoy me too. Like, I see a ton where it's some schmo lifter and the AI generated voiceover is like, this is Tim. No. This is John. John goes to the gym every day to destroy his body because he hates how he looks. Just, corny, lame, and for the most part, you're probably not even thinking like that, right? The enlightened lifter is aware that he's going to look a certain way during different transitional periods of his progress journey, right? Like the enlightened lifter isn't going to be upset when he loses his abs because he's doing a bulk, because he knows that he's going to build muscle underneath of that, which he'll be able to reveal later on. And then once he starts dieting down, he knows that staying under that calorie limit is what's going to let him lose weight. And even though he's going to lose strength and his lifts aren't going to be as impressive, he knows that losing that body fat is just going to make him look more diced. So, the general idea I'm kind of getting at is the more you deviate from just lifting because you want to get bigger, right? The more you deviate just from that specific goal, it can get a little bit funky with your mentality. Not to say it doesn't work. I'll see all sorts of big dudes post some shit like that, saying, I got bullied in school, so now I want to get whatever. For me, I was always like athletic. But when I started, I was like 160. And then, for whatever reason, I got the seed planted in my mind. I want to get fucking big. And I know that being big comes with all sorts of just general benefits. Who doesn't want to fucking walk around like the big dog? Sweet. Tomorrow is going to be arm day. Should be a skin-splitting pump. I gotta go to bed, take my vitamins first, get a little bit more food in. Then I will see you next time. That's it.